The story's main character is named Elizabeth, once a very famous Oscar-winning actress. To honor this great success, people made a star with Elizabeth's name on Hollywood's Walk of Fame. Back then, she was the shining light under the bright lights, the center of everyone's focus. Fans came in crowds to take pictures and celebrate her well-deserved fame. However, even the brightest light cannot fight against time's damage. As years went by, the star slowly got cracks, and no one cared to fix or clean it. This shows how Elizabeth is no longer the center of public interest. When someone accidentally drops food on the star, it gets only a quick cleanup. The once famous actress has quietly disappeared in the flow of time. The scene moves to Elizabeth doing aerobics with energy in front of the camera. This is now her only TV job. From her focused behavior, we can see she really values this work. After recording, Elizabeth exits the studio and walks down the company hallway where pictures from each of her show episodes hang on both sides. Today also happens to be her 50th birthday. Co-workers walking by give their congratulations. Since the women's bathroom is being fixed, Elizabeth goes into the men's room instead. The hallway and bathroom style honors Kubrick's The Shining. The orange of the hallway shows Elizabeth's inner worry, while the red of the bathroom means coming danger. Sure enough, just as Elizabeth enters a bathroom stall, her boss comes into the restroom. He angrily tells his workers,
"We need her young. We need her hot. We need her now." How the old bitch has been able to stick around for this long. That's mystery to me.
Clearly, the show's viewer numbers have dropped. The boss's words are heard very clearly by Elizabeth. This isn't just a rejection of her looks, but an attack on her pride. When the reflection of her career starts to blur, beneath the shiny surface lies only weakness and denial, broken by the truth. The next day, the boss calls her to a restaurant to tell her his choice to let her go. He explains that people are always seeking something fresh, and that it's inevitable.
At 50, well, it stops.
After the boss leaves, only a pile of shrimp shells sits on the table, just like Elizabeth's current state. Her youth and worth have been used up by business, leaving only a worthless shell. The fly that drops into the glass also shows her inner struggle with death. On the way home, Elizabeth suddenly notices a billboard with her picture being taken down by the company. Not paying attention, she sadly gets into a car crash. Luckily, the doctor's check shows no deadly injuries. The doctor says his wife is a devoted Elizabeth fan. Seeing her birth date on the medical form, he simply wishes her happy birthday. Hearing this stranger's kind words, Elizabeth starts crying. It means she's gotten another year older. Seeing her sadness, the doctor uncomfortably leaves. A male nurse suddenly comes over, saying there's one last check, and starts looking at her spine.
Is there a problem?
No, it's perfect. You're a good candidate.
This puzzles her. After the nurse gives her clothes, Elizabeth leaves the hospital only to find a USB drive in her pocket. The front says, "The Substance," with phone details on the back and a message saying, "It changed my life," clearly put there by the nurse. At home, she plugs the USB into her TV and a video begins to play. It explains that with one shot, her DNA would split to create another version of herself. Young, beautiful, and perfect. Both versions would share a week each, 7 days in balance, but in the end, she would still be one, unable to escape herself. What does this mean? To put it simply, if the substance's liquid is put into an egg yolk, the first yolk will quickly split to make a new yolk. The perfect version is clearly fresher than the first, with brighter color. The same thing would happen if used on people, but both versions cannot live at the same time. They must take turns every 7 days. Elizabeth first throws the USB in the garbage, ignoring this strange ad. She then goes to a bar to forget her problems. A young couple nearby is talking sweetly, making her very jealous. She wants to go back to her young looks, but reality only gives her drinking alone and going home to throw up in the bathroom. Looking at herself in the mirror, worry and anger come back. She angrily takes the glass ball representing her success and throws it at her picture. Pushed by want, she gets the USB and calls the phone number. After making sure Elizabeth wants to buy the substance, they ask for her home address and tell her the pickup spot. The next morning, Elizabeth gets a package with a numbered card, 503. She excitedly goes to the address they gave her, which looks totally different from what she thought. But since she's come this far, she chooses to look around. Using the card to open the metal door, she walks through a dark hallway into a clean white room. The spotless area here is very different from the outside, showing the life change she's about to go through. The wall has many storage boxes, but only 207 and 503 have labels. Opening hers shows a box inside. Back home, Elizabeth quickly opens the package. The kit comes in 3 parts. First, the starter, used only once, then discarded. Second, the keeper. It holds the perfect version. And third, the switch needle, along with 7 days of food liquid for each self. But there is a warning. The source can only be started once. The keeper must be used every day, and the switch must happen every 7 days. In the end, remember, you are one. After learning the steps, she takes off her clothes and goes to the bathroom, putting in the starter. Just when she thinks it's fake, she turns around to see the liquid is worked. When the camera shows the new view, a perfect new body has been made. The perfect version looks clearly younger and more beautiful, with soft, firm skin and a better shape. After looking at her elegant body, she looks back at the old body on the floor, seeing a long cut on the back. She uses needle and string to close up the wound and puts food liquid into the old body to keep normal body functions for 7 days. But the next day, after taking a shower and going to the mirror, she suddenly feels lightheaded and gets a bloody nose. She quickly gets out the keeper tools. To keep body balance, she needs to take keeper liquid from the old body's spine, 7 days worth, putting in herself daily. With the keeper's help, she can boldly enjoy her new life. She sees a newspaper in the garbage. It's the job ad her boss put out, asking who will be the next Elizabeth. What they want? Young, beautiful, attractive body, aged 18 to 30. Without thinking, she puts on Elizabeth's yellow jacket and goes to the TV station for a meeting. Her amazing looks and elegant body leave the interviewer totally amazed. Please say your name, age, measurements. I'm Sue. She's then asked to go to the boss's office. The boss eagerly looks at Sue's appearance and body, exactly what they've been searching for. He gives her the job right away, telling her she has 2 weeks to get ready, but Sue tells the boss she needs to leave town every 7 days, making up a story about having a sick mother to help. The boss directly tells her, I want you for this show, and we will work around any mother, brother, or sick family member you need to take care of. For the next 7 days, Sue gets busy, not only putting keeper liquid in herself daily and food liquid in the old body, but also taking different photos and getting ready for show filming. The company even makes a huge poster shown below her building, clearly planning to make her famous. Sue starts serious practice, getting used to her new way of life. Soon, 7 days go by and the old body's food liquid is almost gone. Following the rules, Sue uses the switch to go back to Elizabeth. The back cut causes Elizabeth terrible pain. Looking at the sleeping Sue, Elizabeth feels jealous and can't help but touch her face. The next 7 days are awful for Elizabeth. Scared of being found out, she gets ready to go to the company, but when reaching the hallway, finds her posters have been taken down. No one seems to see she's been away for a week. The boss gives her packed things and a quick goodbye gift, then turns and leaves. Watching him walk away, Elizabeth's face shows anger. Back home, she marks the switching days with Sue, excitedly waiting for the next 7 days. Since food liquid only works for 7 days, she must visit the old place weekly for more. Soon, 7 days go by and Sue is successfully switched back. Under the sun, her body and grace look even more perfect. Looking back at the pictures on the wall and the swollen old body on the floor, Sue's heart starts to change. She finds a secret space between the closet and bathroom, breaks it open, and plans to hide the old body inside for now. But the sound from the drill and hammer quickly brings neighbor complaints. When the neighbor sees Sue's beauty, he right away changes his mood. Sue lies about being a new renter, and the man not only changes his behavior but offers to help with the work. Sue clearly won't give him the chance. Going back inside, she pulls the old body into the fixed room and hides the living room pictures, showing she's starting to hate the aging old body. The next day, Sue starts her first filming. It's the same fitness show, but unlike before, the boss has not only changed the workers, but made the stage more modern and brighter. After filming, the boss is very happy with her work, and the show right away breaks past viewer records. When Sue gets to the hallway, new posters hang on the walls, giving her a feeling of success and happiness. From then on, Sue starts loving the feeling of being loved. 7 days later, in the evening, Sue doesn't switch, but goes to a party with friends. The old body's food liquid is almost gone, but Sue comes home with a motorcycle guy. Totally unaware that the food liquid can no longer keep the old body working, Sue gets another bloody nose.
Are you alright?
Yes, I'll be right back.
She gets scared and goes to the bathroom, but instead of switching right away, she makes a choice that breaks the rule. She uses the needle to take another day's worth of keeper liquid from the old body's spine and puts it into herself. She goes back to the man and continues what they were doing.
What did you do? You seem even more beautiful than before.
She doesn't switch Elizabeth back until the next day. When Elizabeth comes to the living room, she finds the table messy and the motorcycle rider's helmet left behind with a note. As Elizabeth tries to tear it off, she sees something wrong with her fingers. Just a few hours extra and parts of her fingers have quickly aged. Clearly a bad result of Sue's rule breaking. She rushed to the sink, trying to wash it off, but it was useless. After calming herself, she called the substance hotline, pretending she had only forgotten the switch time. The reply left her without hope, explaining that whatever was used by one side was lost to the other, that there was no way back, and that there was no she and you, only one. As long as the balance was respected, there would be no further problems. Elizabeth gets angry and throws the helmet outside, but when she sees Sue's show on TV, her feelings become mixed. She wants Sue's young, sure performance on stage while being scared of her own quick aging. Notice that the bathroom where she washes, the glass door on the left has now become a wall, showing how she's trapped herself in the substance through her own wants. Looking at the extra notes from workers, she has no choice but to keep going to the pickup boxes for food liquid. But when she opens the box door, she hears someone calling Sue's name. She quickly takes the box and runs away in fear, then sits sadly in a restaurant. An old man at the other table starts talking.
It's long, isn't it?
Excuse me?
7 days.
Clearly, the old man is the male nurse from before. His words hurt, scaring Elizabeth into running from the restaurant. In her fear, she bumps into the motorcycle guy who's come for his helmet. Seeing how she looks, his voice becomes very mean. The change in attitude creates huge imbalance in Elizabeth's heart. She wants to date like Sue, so she goes home looking through boxes to find a phone number. This person is her old school friend who has liked her since school. Elizabeth gets courage to call. The friend is both happy and surprised. Even though Elizabeth's fame has gone down, he thinks it's impossible she'd call him first. Facing Elizabeth's invitation, the man right away picks a restaurant and sets the meeting for 8 p.m. Elizabeth starts carefully getting ready in the mirror. From the messy floor, we can see she's tried many clothes and shoes. After putting on pretty makeup, she checks the clock at 7:30 p.m. Before leaving, she gets ready to close the secret door and takes a special look at Sue on the floor. Her face is so perfect, even her lipstick so shiny. Elizabeth falls into deep doubt about herself. She goes back to the mirror, looking at her makeup again, trying to put on blush and lip shine to make herself look younger. Finally, it's time to leave, but while getting her keys, she accidentally looks outside. Sue's poster looks even more beautiful and attractive under the night sky. Elizabeth goes back to the mirror, fixing her collar and taking a scarf to cover her drooping chest. For a 50-year-old, keeping her current looks already beats most people her age. But Elizabeth is still unhappy with her makeup. She fixes and fixes until 7:45 p.m. before reaching a level she's kind of happy with. Clearly, worry about looks has broken her confidence. Before leaving, the camera shows Sue's poster again, as if making fun of her aging looks. Combined with the bent reflection of her face in the door handle, Elizabeth's feelings totally break down. After letting out anger, she sits alone in the dark room, never going to the date. Her old friend keeps texting with worry. At this moment, Elizabeth shows no feeling, her heart slowly starting to twist. She stops caring about her body and chooses to eat too much. The next scene shows Sue at the studio filming a new episode. But halfway through the fitness routine, Sue's body suddenly shows problems. She quickly checks the bulging area, and the filming team right away stops recording. Workers see something weird on the screens. Using the chance while everyone looks at footage, Sue leaves the studio. Scared of being seen by everyone and hurting her career, she goes to the changing room to look at the strange object in her body. But Sue suddenly wakes up. It was just a dream. Looking at Elizabeth, she finds grease marks around her mouth and hands from just eating. Coming to the living room, Sue really sees food pieces. In anger, she directly calls the substance and explains that this balance is not working. I barely have any time to enjoy myself, while she wastes 7 days stuffing her face in front of the TV.
Remember, there is no she and you. You are.
Sue unwillingly goes to the company to keep working, only to be told by co-workers that the show has been stopped for now. She's right away disbelieving. When she enters the boss's office, she finally learns the truth about the pause. They explain that she can't stay on the morning show. Shocked, she protests, pointing out that the ratings had soared from 4.2 to 21.6 and that people adored her and wanted more. But instead of bad news, the boss reveals the real reason. They want her to host the New Year's Eve show. 7 days no longer feel like enough, and she decides to take more of Elizabeth's time. She insists that if an opportunity isn't taken when it arrives, it won't come again, reminding her that nobody knows this better than Elizabeth. She pleads for just one more day, promising that afterward Elizabeth will have an entire week to herself, pointing out that they're about to shoot the cover of Vogue. Just one more day. When Elizabeth is switched back, screams come from the bathroom. Her skin is badly aged, totally taking on an old woman's look. She right away calls to complain about Sue's rule breaking, but the worker asks if she wants to stop, reminding her that she is the source. If she is unhappy, she can end the experience and return to being just herself again.
I can't stop. The balance just needs to be respected.
So respect it.
That evening, Elizabeth sadly watches TV. She suddenly remembers the goodbye gift from her boss, a French cooking book. To kill time, she starts learning to cook. Just then, the TV shows Sue's talk show visit. When the host asks if she's a fan of Elizabeth, Sue says no. She never watched her show. Elizabeth gets angry, breaking all the eggs at Sue's poster and covering the window with newspapers. As someone said, people can't even understand themselves from an hour ago.
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! You have to control yourself!
When Sue is switched back, she finds the whole room messy. The scene in front of her makes Sue totally sick of Elizabeth. For payback, she takes all bottles in the house and starts taking keeper liquid from Elizabeth. As the camera moves further away, it hints at how Sue will go deeper into breaking the balance. Time jumps to 3 months later. Tomorrow at 9 p.m. is the New Year's Eve show. For 3 whole months, Sue not only hasn't let Elizabeth wake up once, but has brought a new boyfriend home. But when she keeps taking keeper liquid, she finds the liquid has become dirty. She calls the substance again.
This is an emergency. There's no more stabilizer fluid.
They explained that she had reached the end and drained everything out. If she wanted more, she would have to let the liquid grow back, which meant making the switch. Only then would the process restart, allowing her to continue the experience.
No. I can't switch. I can't. Especially not now.
But they said there was no other choice. Sue's body is now showing problems. Without keeper liquid, she must switch to make sure normal body work. She painfully crawls to the sink and gets the switching tools. Elizabeth finally wakes up. The bathroom sound alerts the boyfriend, who gets up to check. When Elizabeth looks in the mirror, her body has badly changed into a complete monster shape. Her old voice scares the boyfriend into running away. After making sure the man has left, she comes out from the bathroom. Her bent posture matches the shape of a shrimp, again hinting at Elizabeth's fate. She comes to the living room and calls the substance, saying her desire to stop. She finds her picture and puts it back in the living room. The next day, the substance sends a package. Elizabeth collects it from the pickup box and prepares to give Sue the ending liquid. But just as she is about to do it, she is warned. Once she stops, there is no going back. She will remain on her own, only herself. But halfway through putting it in, want again beats thinking. She needs Sue to help her go to tonight's New Year's Eve show to satisfy her feeling of being loved in the spotlight. However, her endless want will finally create a situation that can't be fixed.
I need you. You gotta get ready. It's our big night. Come on, they're gonna love you so much. You have to come back.
Seeing Sue still won't wake up, Elizabeth makes a wild choice. She takes the switcher to force a switch, totally ignoring the rule of switching every 7 days. As blood moves between them, Sue is forced awake. Both are shocked and stop moving. When Sue sees the ending liquid, she gets that the other wants to kill her. Staying alive drives them into a deadly fight. The aging Elizabeth naturally can't beat the young Sue and is finally beaten to death. Sue can't worry about what happens now. She must go to tonight's New Year's show. The scene cuts to Sue at the company, carefully getting ready. But suddenly her body feels strong pain. She quickly hides in the bathroom as her teeth start falling out, a result of killing the source. Sue has an idea and remembers the unused starter. She plans to go home to put it in, but meets her boss and different shareholders in the hallway. Due to her missing teeth, her smile looks very stiff. Not just teeth, fingernails and ears also start falling off. She runs home in fear and puts in the remaining starter. Sue becomes a total monster. Sue's twisted face in front and Elizabeth's face behind. Pushed by inner need, she gets ready to go to tonight's New Year's show, putting on that blue dress and sticking her photo on her face before going to the company. She dreams about everyone's praise, but really, the hallway is totally empty. As the spotlight comes on, Elizabeth stands on stage, but suddenly the photo falls off and her scary face right away frightens the audience.
The monster! Shoot the monster! It's a freak! Shoot me!
During the fight, Elizabeth falls to the ground. No one believes she's Sue, and no one believes she's Elizabeth. She stands up trying to explain, but is shot in the head. Blood right away sprays toward the audience. The director used 136,000 liters of blood, not just for visual effect, but as the director's fight against reality, blaming society's unfairness of judging women by looks, making fun of the entertainment industry's selfish use of actors under money control, and directly ripping off the fake mask of buying culture's promise of forever youth. The moment blood splashes are the most direct attack on all twisted value systems. Elizabeth stands in the middle of the stage, finishing this big show. Then she goes to the street and her body totally bursts into a pile of meat. Even so, her face keeps moving, finally crawling toward the Walk of Fame, to the 5-pointed star showing her success. In a dreamlike state, the stars in the sky seem like bright lights, making Elizabeth the center of focus. Cheers and clapping surround her. She closes her eyes, enjoying this long-lost moment. As the bright light gets dim, her face also melts into a pool of blood. When the first light of morning sun shines on the street, a cleaner pushes a street cleaner over the 5-pointed star. The blood on the ground is wiped totally clean, as if none of it ever happened. This movie works as a harsh mirror to our society's focus on youth